everyone, welcome to another video. Today I will be playing with some new to me supplies, and if you enjoyed this video please give it a like and of course subscribe. I would love to have you here, so let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I have here a jar of water. I'm guesstimating there's about half a liter in there, so I should probably do this a bit more accurately. But that's not how I roll. They do say not to use more than like 25% of this, so I think I'm good if I just start with a little splash and see. I'm guessing that was about 5 milliliters. Could probably do more. But let's see if this does anything. So I have here my new brush. Let's see first. I'm going to sit down. Just want to play a bit and see how these react without the... Oh, I should probably move these a little bit around. These have actual pigments in them, hopefully. So you see without the flow thing, the flow aid, the pigment just kind of stands, kind of just sits. And let's see, if I just use this as regular water, I can move it around, I guess, a bit. Oh, I need some cheap brushes. Okay. This is still enjoyable. And then I have this beautiful Indian yellow. Have to say, I just love the texture of the raw fabric. It's beautiful. So, making some yucky green. Okay, this is a green I can still tolerate. And my fave, I have here actually also a bunch of other inks that are really nice, and I also have these guys that I bought ages ago and never did anything with them. These are P.H. Martin's Tech Drawing Ink. So these are also, they say these are light fast and waterproof and everything, and they come actually in really beautiful colors. They do smell a bit, I don't know about that. So I think the nice thing about these drawing inks is that they are transparent, which is very, very appealing to me. Okay, so let's see what this... Yeah, again, it's kind of just sits there, and you have to... Oh, this color is 5W Rose. And it's really beautiful. This is the P.H. Martin. I do like, I mean, it's just like one ink, but I do like the transparency. These seem more, these ones from Boesner seem a little bit more opaque. Okay, so now let's see if I need to add more medium. So in this class that I watched, she kind of soaked the fabric. So I think this is looking good. Let's see what happens now. Okay, let's take this. Okay, definitely behaves differently, but Let's see if I also just add regular water. I mean, it could be mostly the water that increases the flow. So this one was a bit wetter, and it definitely, you saw, definitely increased flow. So the question is, if you actually, I think I will add a little bit more medium because I think that was just not enough. Okay. And also in this tutorial that I saw, she also diluted the inks with this medium. So I think I'll just have to play around with this on kind of a larger scale and see. I mean, it worked kind of good just with water. Let's see the blue. Seems like it's working pretty well with water. Now what I do want to try are some Liquitex inks because, you know, this was a class from Liquitex and maybe their formulation is different. So this is a beautiful color called Turquoise Deep. How gorgeous is that? And yeah, it also spreads nicely into water. And let's see, this is white. I definitely see playing with this in my future because I love being able to use fabric. And since I've also really been enjoying using, you know, I'm like crocheting, so just using different fibers. You know, you could also like stitch things with this, and yeah, this is appealing to me on many different levels. But I'm just not familiar with kind of the behavior of this surface with these mediums, so there's a lot of exploration. But what I do see is that water definitely gives you some of that, you know, ability to get that flow. And I think probably what is going to be really interesting is to just, you know, play with that contrast of having those areas where the ink doesn't move and then also being able to move it around. I kind of like both. When it starts to get all like, you know, like blurry and everything, I kind of, that's hard for me. So I also need some like, you know, clear lines. And I definitely need, you know, this is acrylic ink. It's really not like watercolor with when it comes to the range, so I definitely see having to mix my own shades, and that's why I bought these. I'll probably need to buy a few more. And yeah, I don't know how like airtight these are, so I'm not sure how long I can keep the inks with them, but oh, that's so much fun. Okay. So I hope this gave you some indication. I think what I'll do now, since I have this jar, which I definitely have to label, just to make sure that nobody gets into it, I'll have to like close it and label it. But I think I just want to use this now and play around. Okay, I'm switching to narration mode just because I got into the zone and I was playing around. And yeah, I didn't learn a ton more. Basically, what I noticed was that the Liquitex inks did seem kind of more reactive to this Flow Aid medium. And yeah, I also wasn't super happy with the inks that I got from Boesner. I mean, I can probably make really pretty shades. The yellow is good, but the blue is okay. I could probably make a really, really nice lavender if I mix the blue with some white. But that magenta is, for me, a fail. It's not transparent. It's too bluish. And maybe I can make like a nice kind of like a cobalt violet if I mix it with a little bit of white. And I also want to play around with some of my granulation medium. I've actually noticed from Winsor & Newton that is actually intended for watercolors. I've noticed that some acrylic inks react beautifully with it and really kind of just give that texture effect. I mean, it's not real granulation, but something happens to them and it's good. So definitely a lot to explore. And I think with this nice big roll of canvas that I got, it'll probably be just a good idea to cut a bunch of small pieces and make all kinds of experiments and then just write down on the canvas with like a Sharpie pen or something like that what I used, and maybe bind it together somehow for like a reference book. So I'm really excited about all these things. My kind of, I don't know, hesitation or reluctance with the whole process here is that I really want to work larger, and I just have to figure out how to set up my space so that, you know, I don't damage basically my floor and walls, because the table is like a painting table. It's fine. It's just like a super cheap IKEA, you know, plastic, like some sort of veneer table. So I'm okay with covering it with paint. It'll actually probably make me very happy. But yeah, I don't know. I need to do some reorganizing in my room. That's kind of what's holding me back from painting more freely. With watercolors, I also feel like I'm slowly just enjoying working larger and larger, but I also feel comfortable using watercolors because they're very clean, very easy to clean. And yeah, it's just, well, we'll see. I'll have to figure it out. But this was definitely a lot of fun. And I have a bunch of inks, but I did see a few. I think Liquitex kind of widened their range or added some new colors that I haven't seen, that I wasn't familiar with. So I might pick up a few of those. I've had my eye on they came out a few years ago actually with like this muted range, which usually I'm not into like muted colors, but they have a few there that I think the whole thing was like inspired by like smoky colors. And they have a few that are really, really gorgeous. Like the muted pink is just gorgeous. So I have to look into that. I kind of just want to find, you know, a go-to color palette, because right now a lot of the inks that I have, the range is very classic. So very kind of basic, what you find in every range of like artist grade supplies. It's like the same things again and again, like the same kind of reds, the same kind of, you know, magenta, the same kind of blues, phthalo green, like all these things. And I just need my colors, you know, I need that beautiful cobalt teal, I need my perfect pink, like all those things. So for me, that's a huge part of enjoying. That's where it starts for me. And if I'm not loving every single color that I'm putting down, then I'm just not enjoying it. I'm not happy with the results. And so I should probably, a combination of like finding some go-to colors and not being too lazy to mix some myself. Like this purple is actually really lovely and it's not too blue, which is what I like about it. So I should probably figure out if I can use it. And yeah, just play. There's no shortcuts here. It's just all about familiarizing yourself with the medium, how it behaves, how these things behave together, like the surface, the ink, the mediums, water, all these things. And it just takes time and a lot of play. And, at the beginning, you just have to kind of accept the fact that you're going to make a lot of ugly stuff that are just trash worthy. And that's okay because I've gone through that process with mixed media, with watercolors. So it doesn't frustrate me too much. What frustrates me is just the feeling of like having to be careful that I don't spill paint everywhere. But yeah, it is what it is, and I'll figure something out. So I just also pulled out some of my beloved golden like high flow or liquid or fluid acrylics. They're beautiful. Actually, this this fluorescent pink has seen better days, and I think it sat too long without being used. So I think it's gone. Like some of it just sank to the bottom, and I don't know if I can salvage it, but I love, love, love the high flow golden acrylics. They're lovely, and I think I could definitely play with them too on this canvas. So very exciting, a lot of fun, and I'll see you in another video very soon. Take care. Bye bye.